Investigators in Brooklyn Park are trying to determine why a small plane crash landed on a busy road in the city.
What I do know is the pilot was working through an approach to the airport, was experiencing some mechanical failures with the aircraft, was in contact with the tower, declared an in-flight emergency on approach to Crystal Airport to the southeast.
The Piper single-engine aircraft landed on County Road 81 southbound near West Broadway, striking a vehicle. The crash resulted in minor injuries to the driver of the car, who was then transported to the hospital. A spokesperson with the FAA said the pilot, a 23-year-old man, was the only person on board the plane. First responders credit the pilot for being able to land the aircraft a couple miles from the Crystal Airport without causing any significant injuries or damage.
The fact that he impacted one vehicle and was able to put the aircraft down, which you see, probably is a testament to his skill as a pilot.
According to the FAA registry, the plane is owned by Thunderbird Aircraft Company out of Bloomington. The NTSB is leading the investigation into the crash. As the conflict between Israel and Hamas takes place thousands of miles away, members of the Muslim and Jewish communities in the northwest suburbs have felt its direct impact. Here is Abdi Mohammed.
It's very difficult every time a new attack comes, especially on October 7th, which was the most deadly attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. The amount of people and the ferociousness and the atrocities that were committed then.
Nisi Naparstik has family in Israel caught up in the war.
It really shook up a lot of people. I think in the Jewish world we're seeing a shake-up today.
As a rabbi in the Maple Grove, Plymouth area, much of his time has been dedicated to consoling relatives and members of his congregation.
My aunt was posting, her kids were constantly crying that they have to spend so much time in the bomb shelters because of the missiles. Every few minutes you have 20, 30 seconds, depends on the town, to get to the bomb shelter.
With the death toll in Gaza rising, members of the Northwest Islamic Community Center in Plymouth have felt the impact directly.
We had a sister here that lost 30 of her relatives during this conflict.
Saifullah Muhammad, a resident scholar at the Plymouth Mosque, has had several conversations with members of the community pained by the images they see online.
I've had youth and I had community members calling me, breaking down panic attacks. I've got calls 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That, I can't sleep, right? Nightmares. Just seeing all the media that we're consuming and the videos and the pictures that are coming out.
During these difficult times, Scripture has served as a guiding light for each community.
Of course, as Muslims, we rely on God and faith to help us navigate these difficulties in life. Islam teaches us that there's ups and downs in life. There's going to be good times and there'll be difficult times.
And then there are other verses throughout the Torah, throughout the Bible, talking about trusting in God, talking about being happy at all times, talking about even with difficulties, God is with us, He's taking our hand, and He's showing us the way.
Both faith leaders have seen their community strengthened through the conflict as they continue to pray for peace.
Community gives us that solace that, when we're in times, when you need a hand to be lifted, that's why we're here for each other. And we're hoping that ties and that bonds that we have will keep us strong and, hoping for a ceasefire. We have been calling for a ceasefire for a very long time.
I've seen in my small community here and Jews all over the world, literally, major changes in people's willingness to be there for one another, to do more observances, do more customs, celebrate more holidays, etc., etc.
In Plymouth, Abdi Mohammed, CCX News.
While the conflict in the region has not yet subsided, President Biden brokered a humanitarian pause over the weekend, allowing for the release of hostages and entry of aid. The city of Brooklyn Park and its residents continue to debate the future of an ice rink at the city's Community Activity Center. Brooklyn Park has 2 ice rinks at the activity center. The city is considering converting one of those rinks to multi-use courts. Another proposal would add new gym space while keeping both ice rinks. The city has about $7 million set aside for a remodeling project. Converting the existing rink to courts would cost another $6 million, while constructing new courts would cost another $13 million. The City Council asked city staff to conduct a needs assessment for court space before moving forward with the decision. Meanwhile, the community continues to have strong opinions on the issue.
There are 2 rinks. We're only asking for 1. you still will be able to do what you need to do on that one sheet of ice.
I don't understand why we would have to remove an option for young men and women in our area when I think a better option would be to add.
The Brooklyn Park City Council is also considering about $5 million worth of community center updates not tied to the Rink project. Now that cold weather has descended upon the Twin Cities, crews are hard at work making Maple Grove look like a winter wonderland. The ice castles along Main Street are beginning to take shape. With the below freezing temperatures, construction kicked off over the weekend. And as long as the temperature consistently stays below freezing, a series of sprinklers will run continuously to form the ice that crew members need to build the castles.
A lot of excitement's happening around the city in anticipation of this, and now that it's actually coming to fruition, I think, the anticipation of excitement just continues to build.
Tickets for the ice castles go on sale this week. Local tourism officials hope to have the attraction open by mid to late December. The late November cold brought a jolt of good news to fans of outdoor winter sports. 15 snow guns have started creating a winter wonderland at Elm Creek Park Reserve. The Three Rivers Park District is getting the winter recreation area ready for cross-country skiing, which is expected to open by the end of the week.
Phones are ringing off the hook. People want to know when we're going to be opening. So for those cross-country folk, this Friday, but for everybody else, we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer until we can build that base.
Three Rivers can make snow when temperatures reach 27 degrees and below. Elm Creek Park Reserve is also getting set to host the Nordic Ski Opener on December 9th, an event that's expected to draw around 3,000 people.